Rondino, page 34 by Jean-Philippe Rameau. Okay, as typical, go ahead and analyze the music. Notice it's a very traditional 4-bar phrase, but I want you to be very careful, look very carefully at the right-hand melody content. It looks like it's just winging around notes up and down and kind of squiggling here and there. But notice the direction where it's going. See if there's any repetitions. Go right ahead. Pause, please. Okay, we're back. Now, as I mentioned before, it's a straightforward 4-bar phrase structure. You have your first 4 measures with a cadence on that G chord, so that's a half cadence. Moving on to your second phrase, well, now you've got a C chord, so you're cadencing with your authentic cadence. So these are paired up, question and answer, antecedent and consequent. Moving on to measure 9, we're in the third phrase and the fourth phrase. And you'll notice, of course, the addition of that F sharp. So your ears should go up and say, probably moving to the key of G major, maybe E minor, but I don't see any D sharps, so it looks like G major. Make sure that you've played lots of G scales and your tonic and dominant chords in the key of G, so that this won't throw you off when you modulate to the key of G. Then, moving on, the last 8 bars looks like an exact return of the A section. So you've already played the last 8 bars at the beginning. Now, back to the beginning. Speaking of that right hand, the content of the melody, notice it steps down, step up, skip down, and step up. Measure 2 does exactly the same thing. Steps down, up a second, down a third, and up a second. So these are exactly the same, except, of course, this one starts on F. Notice that you're going to see it again in the second phrase, bar 5 and 6. Moving on to the third phrase, looks very similar, but again, it doesn't start on G because we're in a different key. It starts on the dominant note, on D. But you see it in both bars of that third phrase, the first and second measure of the third phrase. And even the second phrase of the B section, notice that's a direct repetition of the first 2 measures of the B section. And then, of course, the A section returns, so you're going to see that. So hear that in your ear. Measure 1. Make sure it's stuck in your ear before you begin so that it doesn't become confusing for you. Look at your bass line. Your bass line has quite a few skips in it, and so especially looking at that second phrase, be very careful about these leaps in the left hand. Moving on to the B section, looks like it's going to become scalar and then it starts skipping around again. Focus on the key that you're in so that those notes in the left hand don't come as a shock. Go right ahead.